NBA players get suspended all the time. Fights, hard fouls, trash talk, etc. But some suspensions don't even feel real. Like imagine getting suspended for untying a player's shoe or for bringing guns in the locker room. Yeah, what we doing today is we counting down the top 5 craziest reasons why players have been suspended. And trust me, the last one is an incident the NBA will never forget. Let's start with number 5, J.R. Smith untying players' shoes. In 2015 Knicks vs Mavericks, J.R. Smith walked up to Sean Marion and untied his shoe. Not during the timeout, not jokingly, right in the middle of the game.
I get a call from the league and it's just like, oh man, you're trying to sabotage people. Da, da, da. I'm like, have y'all ever played basketball before? You making it seem like I have such an advantage that, oh my, I can hit 20 more threes than he can because I untied his shoe. Like, are you serious right now? Oh, so he can't run full speed because his shoe's untied. That's what it is.
You never tried with me, did you? I can't remember.
I don't
think you did. There's no way you would ever be able to untie my shoe. That's the thing I never understood about this. Like, how loose are guys tying their shoes?
You know what?
That you can just do it with like a pull. I don't get it. I'm a double knotter and I'm like a fucking vice grip.
Earl Boykins, he used to tie his wedding band and his shoe and like triple knot it. I'm like, bro, you better triple knot that. You come home without that, it's over for you.
Imagine trying to get back on defense or run down the court, but J.R. Smith done untied your shoe. Now you tripping all over the place. JR ended up getting fined by the league for unsportsmanlike conduct, no suspensions. But imagine trying to game plan for a player untying your shoes. Crazy. Now coming in at number 4, Dennis Rodman kicking the cameraman. Now this happened in 1997, Bulls versus the Timberwolves. Dennis Rodman dives for a loose ball and dives right into the cameraman. And for some odd reason, he kicks the cameraman. Not on accident, on purpose. He actually kicks the cameraman.
He kicked the cameraman. He was really upset. Really upset. Went up in the air, came down on the camera. You thought he sprained his ankle.
Well, there's all kinds of equipment right there, and the cameraman is hurt. Now the man acts like he's dying.
Here they go, fighting for the ball, and that's where he comes up to the camera, steps on the camera, that's where he's upset.
The cameraman was actually injured, and Dennis Rodman was suspended 11 games and fined $200,000. That's a heavy price for losing your temper for just a second. But that's the thing about playing with these passionate players. It can work for you and it can work against you. Dennis Rodman is one of the best rebounders of all time, if not the best rebounder of all time, because of his passion for the game. But he got in trouble as well because of his passion for the game. Coming in at number 3, Metta World Peace elbowing James Harden. This happened in 2012, Lakers versus Thunder. Metta World Peace gets a fast break dunk and starts celebrating, and for no reason turns around and elbows James Harden. He turns around, James Harden standing there, and he elbows him. For what reason, I don't know. Harden actually had to leave the game with a concussion. Metta World Peace was suspended 7 games. And the crazy part about it is it wasn't even during the play. The play was over. He was celebrating. He just turned around and elbowed James Harden.
Why did you hit Harden?
Shout out to Harden. I like Harden. So this is maybe 2014. So I was playing very well. I was playing against OKC. And I had 16 in the first half. I was cooking. And I had about 3 dunks that game. I never dunked really. Hardly ever. As I dunked, I got really excited. So then Harden, he was following me. I'm dunking and he's shoving my back. It wasn't a hard shove, but I was trying to say like, get up off me. You know what I mean? And then I didn't know who it was. Luckily, it wasn't a bad blow, but it was definitely, it looked bad.
But honestly, that wasn't too shocking coming from Metta World Peace or Ron Artest. What is he calling himself today? Coming in at number 2, Gilbert Arenas locker room incident. You know what I'm talking about. This happened during the 2009-2010 Washington Wizards season. Gilbert Arenas got into a gambling dispute with teammate Javarius Crenson, and it went way too far. Gilbert Arenas went out and got a bunch of guns and came back in and laid them on the floor. I don't know, they were supposed to pick him up and have a duel, like an old Western.
I've never gotten suspended for guns in the locker room. The real story is I got bullied into 50 games. When the media was attacking me, like Ja, I was reacting emotionally. You were attacking my character, not knowing what was going on, and I was acting out, which means I was suspended indefinitely because the story was too big for 1 or 2 games. So they decided to say, well, you're going to take it. You're not going to go to the Players Association and fight this.
When you say they, who is they?
Oh, David Stern, Adam Silver. Okay. He said, you're going to take 50 games or I'm going to come after your contract. You know, that's a decision I had to make. And it was like, well, am I going to fight the commissioner of the NBA?
Gilbert Arenas got suspended for 50 games and it basically changed his career forever. He went from being a superstar to basically nobody.
The real reason I think I was suspended for 50 games was the idea of how I got the guns to Washington, D.C. And what it was is I was using NBA planes to, the words they use, traffic guns from Arizona to Virginia to my home. And I don't think the NBA wanted that to get out.
Our legal situation and the stuff that we ended up facing, it was like 3 different charges.
Crittenden pled guilty January 15th to a felony gun charge. The judge sentenced the 22-year-old to a year of unsupervised probation.
Arenas pleaded guilty January 15th to a felony gun charge. Gil might have had an extra charge or 2 because of how many guns he had. So, you know, those were serious things. And I just feel like, man, like, and not blaming Gil, but all right, the stove hot, they don't crank the fire up. We boiling. You still like a plant sticking your chest out with these people. That was a no-no.
We didn't get suspended for actual guns in the locker room. I'm getting 50 games for my behavior, right? It should have been a different penalty for him versus one for mine. He kind of gets stuck with a 50-game suspension that he didn't deserve.
But at the height of his superpowers, Gilbert Arenas was one of the most prolific scorers in the NBA. Lucky, Gilbert Arenas has been highly successful in his career after the NBA. Shout out Gil's Arena. Be going up. Coming in at number 1, drum roll please. I'm pretty sure y'all could have guessed this. Malice in the Palace. This happened 2019-2004, Pistons versus the Pacers. Late in the game, tension was already high. Ron Artest fouls Ben Wallace and things escalate pretty quickly. While Ron Artest is laying on a scorer's table for whatever reason, a fan throws a drink at him. And that's when all hell breaks loose. Ron Artest runs into the stands and now the players are fighting the fans. Steven Jackson slides in, Jermaine O'Neal gets a couple punches. It's just chaos going through the whole arena.
With a knee bruise. Ben to the rack, lays it up, no, but we do have a whistle and a foul. Ben just went after Artest. We got trouble right here in the Motor City. We got big trouble here in the Motor City.
That's not good for Ben. And Derek Coleman is off the bench. That's going to be a suspension. I never saw what set it off, but that's going to cost Ben some money and maybe something else.
Larry Brown trying to hang on to Ben. And Garhurt trying to keep Rip Hamilton away. I don't know. There could have been some words spoken out here we don't know about, even though we're in the front row. Steven Jackson still screaming at the Pistons. Derek Coleman pulling Ben back. Garhurt pulling Chauncey back.
I can't tell what quite's going to happen here, but Dice is down all the way down there. He came back now, but
Rasheed being pulled back by Pat Sullivan.
That was Alvin Campbell that was down there, not Derek Coleman looked like.
Now Ron Artest has gone on the headsets. The Indiana broadcast.
And Ben Wallace just threw something at him again. Ben's going to get a substantial fine and suspension if he doesn't really slow down here.
Rasheed is still over on the Indiana side of the timeline.
There goes Ben Wallace again.
There goes Artest up into the crowd. He's absolutely out of his mind. And Steven Jackson slugging people in the crowd here.
The whole Indiana team is in the crowd.
And now the Pistons are coming over.
This is not good for the NBA or for Detroit.
This is the ugliest scene you'll ever see.
Rasheed has to get out of the stands.
What in the world is going on here?
Rasheed's trying to be a peacekeeper in the whole thing up in the stands right now.
the horn jumped up to try and keep people apart.
There's a fight down the other end right now. Ben Wallace is on the floor.
Well, the officials have no way to control this. And the coaches and the assistant coaches and everybody, when these guys lose it, and there's so many of them, there's almost nothing you can do. This was a Pier 6 brawl at the Palace tonight. And we still have 45.9 seconds to go.
Indiana's whole team is leaving the court, going to a locker room. People are throwing things, bottles, etc. They're showering with beer now.
Have you ever, Bill?
Well,
I've been in the league 29 years. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen a couple of guys in the stands for a fight, and now they're still going at it down on the other end.
This is not a pretty sight, but it happens. Very emotional game. Indiana came here with a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion, and they're really throwing stuff at Indiana going out the tunnel right now.
Well, it's Ron Artest, I believe, who was the object of the fans' wrath over there. You may never see anything like this again in pro sports.
Well, at least in the NBA, because this is going to be a serious situation, and they have called the game for the rest of the game, is what the announcer is saying over to PA.
The game has been called. Indiana wins the game, if you remember, 97-82. And the way it ended was as ugly as anything you may ever see.
The NBA handed out massive suspensions. Ron Artest, 86, Steven Jackson, 30, and Jermaine O'Neal, 25. These were some of the harshest punishment in NBA history, and to this day, nothing like that has ever happened again. From untying shoes to bringing guns in the locker room to fighting fans in the stands, these are the 5 craziest suspensions we've seen in NBA history. Get in the comments and tell me which one shocked you the most and which ones did I miss. Once again, I want to thank you for diving into the history of the NBA with me. I am Mega, and I'm up out of here.